being watched.
Hello everyone. Hello! Any Scandinavians in the audience? Sweet. Welcome. Before we start, I just want to tell you that for this panel we don't have any startups. We have melted water from hot instead. Just kidding. Just in case. If you don't hear me because I'm mumbling or I'm not talking too close to the microphone, just let me know. If you have questions, interrupt me during the discussion. I will try to answer them.
Okay, a few housekeeping tips again. Out in the hallway, we're selling collecting track programs for $3 each. They have a great checklist on the back of all our Star Tots, so you can use that in your trading later on today. Everyone who has a seat will get a Star Tot, but you will only get a Star Tot if you have a seat. So please wait until the end of the panel to get up. Wait until the doors open, because it's just incredibly rude to our presenters who are taking the time. I think this is right.
Great. So now we have 3 hours in front of us. So, let's go. Here's a short introduction of myself. My name is Mattias Rendahl, from Sweden. By profession, I'm an art director, and over the years I've helped creating these amazing giveaways. Both medallions, co-designed them together with the talented artist Jeff Correll. We did the Star Tots now. I made half of them, and I made a few books together with Gus and Duncan. Yeah, Star Wars collector since '95. Oh, great! Thanks. So I'm quite far away from home. Here's the Nordic countries. There's actually a difference between Nordic and Scandinavian. Nordic even includes Finland and Iceland. And I have some stuff to show from all countries. Yeah, and there's where from and we're down by Boba Fett. I think that's an old picture from Celebration 5. I was too lazy to change the logo, sorry. Before we start going into each country, I'm going to say a few words about, I don't know how to say this, Brio, I think in English, because they were the importer and had the license for all the countries up in Scandinavia, and they are a Swedish company. They're mostly known for their wooden toys. Maybe you guys have seen them, like that train over there to the left. And they got the license for Star Wars in the mid-80s, quite late, because no one cared about the toys in Sweden. Another company tried to sell toys, like in 77, 78, 79, but they failed to do so. But then Brio started Playmix, started to import the toys, and it was a huge success. They made so much marketing about it, and they were a good company. They're from the same area as IKEA. They're like really cheapskates, so they know how to do business and make money. And like, in a few years they sold 2 million action figures only in Sweden, and we, at that time, maybe we had 7 or 8 million population. So that's quite many. And then they also had toys for other toy lines. He-Man, Action Force, G.I. Joe for you, My Little Pony. And Mattel and Hasbro and Kenner, they don't want the same license for the same company. So Rio fooled them and started different companies. Playmix got the Star Wars, Scanditoy got Monsters of the Universe, etc. And that's the way to go around it. And they had all the coolest toy lines back in the day. So that's the background about some of the items you will see when we go into each country. This image is quite familiar. Well, all the time people, I don't think people really believe it anymore. I certainly hope not. But when you say you're from up in the north, then people start asking, oh, you get polar bears on the street. And that's absolutely not true. Because we have Tom Toms. And that is true. This is a shot from Norway, where Hoth actually was the location. And it's up there, you see. So, sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you thought Hoth existed for real. It doesn't, because that's in Norway. And all these outdoor sceneries were shot there, and they had amazing mountains and stuff. There's some quite cool behind the scenes footage. The Wamp is amazing, I think. And all the cool Norwegian crew gear they made for the crew up there. And this is a shameless plug for the new book Gassendacken has made. And there's a spread with some neat crewwear items that came from Norway, or they made it for Norway, for the shootings of Empire Strikes Back. And the Finse Cup is the one, very rare one that the hotel gave to the crew when they left as a thank you for staying at the hotel. Not that they had a choice, because it was the only hotel in Finse, but it was a nice gesture, and that's really rare, the pad. And that's Gus in his own crewwear outfit. I think it's hilarious. So if you haven't got the book, be sure to check it out at least down in the exhibition hall. It's very funny items and cool items. Well, not technically maybe a Norwegian item, but since Hoth was in Norway, I thought it was cool to show you this. And this is from Gus Lopez's own collection, and it was used by the rebel soldier during the attack. And I thought this was amazing, just to see what props are going for these days. I think the snowtroopers, they were actually shot in England, in Elstree Studios, but Hoth is Norway for me, so I have to show this amazing ending prize. I'm just blown away. I'm so glad I'm into toys and not props. Well, here's a cool shot from Norway back in 1977, where actually Anthony Daniels went into his costume again in Norway, in Oslo, and made promotion for the premiere of Star Wars. He was there in another business for some reason. And almost all other countries in Scandinavia have their own movie posters with the cool language and stuff. But no, Norway, they didn't do that. They just imported the US versions. And like I'm right there, it's probably before they discovered oil. The cheapskate country, and now they're really rich, and they can do whatever you want. I'm not bitter. They did do some cool day-ahead covers though, not the Star Wars, but Empire Strikes Back, Imperiet slår tillbaka och Jedi-riddaren. Sounds like the chef from the Muppet Show, right? For some reason, the droids and Ewoks line was so popular all over Europe, even in Scandinavia. So there's quite a few Ewok and droids items out there for the countries. And that's pretty cool. Here's some nice toy ads from Norway as well. If you look at the left one, that has the Power of the Force logo, and that tells quite much about the story of Star Wars. When it was declining, the interest over here in the US, it was as popular as ever in the Scandinavian countries. So we have the Power of the Force logo for quite a few years. You can see stuff up to 1987. with the logo on it in catalogs and such. And as you see, Boba Fett is among the rebellion in the Scandinavian countries. That's weird. Some cool toys from Norway, from a toy chain named Ringo that almost only sold Brio toys, Action Force, Masters of the Universe, and so on. And General Mills in the UK made, I think it was 7 or 9, I don't really recall, different versions of this catalog. Finland, Sweden, Norway got it. It was looks identical, but in different languages. And it's like with the toy catalogs, it's almost the only time you see the Power to Force logo. Some comics. So that was it about Norway. They had the cool stuff from HUD and some toy ads, and that's pretty much it. There's a few items out there that's scary, but a lot of paperwork, comics, ads, etc. No special toys were made. You can find some read-along books as well, and so on. But let's head over to Denmark. As most of you maybe know as Legoland. And I think Lego was one of the reasons why Star Wars toys, action figures wasn't as popular from the start in the Scandinavian countries, because we were mostly playing with Playmobil and Lego. It's always been a huge hit in my countries. And well, so maybe it's their fault that we weren't able to do it. And now it's quite cool about Lego. Like, they almost went to bankruptcy in 98 or something. And thanks to the license of Star Wars, they're like going better than ever and making huge profits, and that's really cool. Denmark made some nice movie posters. Stjernekrigen. The one to the left is a regular, like, A-sheet sized poster, but the one to the right is a huge, like almost a 9-sheet, almost bigger, that recently was discovered with this weird font on it that says Star Wars in Danish. That was pretty cool to see, because no one has ever seen that before, and for a poster collector, it was huge. From Empire Strikes Back. A big one as well, and the one to the left is a regular sized one. And Jedi vänder tillbaka. A great one. Just like the US version, just translated. There's some nice read-along books as well, like most countries had. All look the same, only different languages. This is scary stuff. Like, look at Yoda. It's like, I didn't want to drink that tea if I come looking like him. It was scary from the start. And these items were recently found in Denmark, down in the basement, and there were some boxes of this stuff, and no one were aware of them before, or not the community either way. And they had a sticker included in it. There's one for Paplu, and it was only like they used Star Wars to try to sell tea. I don't get the connection at all. It's one of the weird licenses. It's not even for kids. It's like I get sodas and candy and cereals and stuff, but tea. And Denmark is not a big tea country either, so maybe it would make sense in the UK. Here's the Danish version of the catalog. And like I told you guys before, we didn't have packaging of our own in the Nordic countries. Playmix, they imported toys from all over Europe. If Palatoy got the cheapest Trilogo figures, they bought from them. If Germany had the cheapest figures, they bought from them. Even French, Italy, you name it. They're cheap, they bought it and sold in the Nordic countries. And since we don't get our own toy stuff, like a clearance sticker like this is what we collect and think it's cool. At least some of us. I like the sticker to the left since it has the official Star Wars logo on it. And over the last years, it's become a quite big collectible area, and people are actually paying stuff to get items that has this ugly sticker on it, even though it's a clearance sticker. And you see the Power Force logo in a toy ad to the right. Once again, I think it's cool also to see tri-logo figures featured. You almost always see like the loose ones in toy catalogs. So here what it could look like. Some of these are mine, and some of them are from a guy named Søren, that's back in Denmark. Some are still sealed. He's got an incredible collection. And some of the stuff I'm showing, that's from his side. And you see down to the right, these are collectibles. And it was from Shane R. Chiolsky from the 80s. I thought you're supposed to put them together to make this like big poster, but I tried to, but it doesn't fit. It looks like they're matching up, but they don't. So it's just weird. I don't know why you want that. Have Chewbacca and Leia's legs on the right. Or I actually do understand that so well. Okay. Here's some nice toy ads, especially the Emperor one. This looked like a kid drew that. I don't think like Kenner approved that one. This is Finland is actually the only country that used the logo, Playmix logo, on their stuff. And it's really cool to see for a Swede with this logo on the stuff. And they actually put the logo on the stickers. They put on some toys. These stickers are extremely rare. It's both in Swedish and in Finnish. And it says that, let's see, that it doesn't contain any figures or batteries. That's figures not included. And the Playmix logo and the address for it in Helsinki. And they got the catalog as well. So, to my home country. Oh, time flies. Good. This is maybe news for some of you, but we got the Millennium Falcon in Sweden. And here's the proof. This is actually true, or true, I don't know, but a couple of researchers or scientists claim that Millennium Falcon has been found out in the sea. And you see the evidence, the clear shape of the Millennium Falcon. And next year they're going to go down to see what it is. They claim to be a UFO or something. I think it's Millennium Falcon. Would be cool. Then we would have cooler things than Norway, and that will only matters. Sweden is the largest country up in the north, and we had the most items. And the company, the headquarters was in Sweden, so it's probably that's why, of course. So here we see a couple of different movie posters and some lobby cards. And the movie poster to the left is really unique because it's the only Star Wars movie poster that actually have Han Solo and Chewbacca on it. No other country has that on the Star Wars poster. Of course later on, but not for the 77 or 78 releases. And it's a bad picture cropped into the wonderful artwork. But so that's neat looking. The Empire Strikes Back poster. and the one to the right with the reviews for the movie. So it was actually reviewed as the best movie from the United States, 1980. So that's the best selling point they had. That's good. Return of Jedi, or Jedins Återkomst, the most popular one in Sweden, sold the most tickets. And the item on the right is a promotional sticker handed out at the cinema at the time of its premiere. And of course, Ewok posters, Caravan of Courage in Swedish, 2 versions, like almost impossible to find. I think at least the one to the left, 1 or 2 exist, are known to exist, and to the right, the same 1 or 2. It took me almost 10 years to track one down, and it was just pure luck. I found it. So that was a cool thing, even though it is the Caravan of Courage. The same thing, Boba Fett with the Rebels, same ad as Norway, just but in Swedish and Norwegian, of course. And here's the time where Playmix got the license, and they really started to the marketing department started to try to sell the toys, and that was part of the big success of the Toyland in Sweden. As one quite rare, nice Swedish poster that Playmix handed out at toy stores. When you bought some toys, you received this for free. And these days it's very rare and going for hundreds of dollars. And what's really interesting is the top image is actually only hand-painted prototypes from Kenner. But the way you look at the Emperor's Royal Guard, got the cloak backwards, and there's some nice details if you look at it closely. Yeah, and this is what I told you about before. We never got our own toy, so we got this silly little orange sticker that says figures, dolls not included. I don't know why they call the action figures dolls, but well, that's what it says. And since we only got that says it's Swedish, that's actually what we collect. So this little sticker makes a huge difference on an item. I know it's quite lame. Even the Swedes, most Swedes don't care about it, but there's a few of us that do. Here's a few examples of it. And as you can see, same with the Danish stuff. It's like Trilogo mixed with Pel toy, mixed with German stuff. And even the crappy instructions like these, like Xerox, machine typewritten, you never see these items. And so, well, maybe I'm the only one that cares about it, but I think it's cool. Yeah, and when the first million action figure was sold, Darth Vader visited. And these pictures are actually from my hometown. I wasn't there. I wasn't a fanboy back then, for real. That came years later. Now I wish I was there and had some pictures of myself in there. And that's what one of the touring props ILM made for all of the world, so that, not actors, but they could make a tour with Darth Vader, C-3PO and stuff. Tried to track the costume down. I think one of my friends here in the upfront had a lead on it, but I don't know what happened to it. They might be out there and might still be in Sweden. It would be nice to find it. One of the nicest collectible toy items in Sweden are these display signs that Playmix used. They used it for the toy stores, of course, but also for their own Darth Vader tour that you can see up on the right. And if you can see, if you have really good eyes, you can see that display signs over Darth Vader. and there's a stormtrooper as well. So they used them both themselves on the Vader tour and on the Toy Stores. But since Sweden is such a small country, almost none of them have survived. There are very few of them out there, and there's a few of them, like they're this size maybe. Chewbacca, and that's Luke in Stormtrooper outfit, and a shelf talker down to the left, which wasn't known to exist until only 6 months ago. So that was a pretty nice find. Was able to track down a former Playmix employee, and he had saved a lot of the stuff. A nice Falcon display, a very nice Return of the Jedi display with a Wampa out in space all of a sudden. And that my friend Johan here turned up, of course when I was away, and he found it. There was two of them, and it was nice that I could have one of them. There's Vader, Return of the Jedi, and the Power of the Force. And the Power of the Force one is probably the rarest one, and no other countries have used the Power of the Force logo on store displays. So it's quite a unique item. And store display collectors are after them, but they're most of these are only 2 to 3 known to exist. Hopefully more will turn up, but at the moment it's very difficult. And of course the catalog. There's some missed Swedish Playmix items, catalogs, diplomas, competition flyers, stationery, notebooks, lots of paper items. Probably because it was cheap to make, and they made $1 million of it just to put the logo on there, and it's sold. And we got this fantastic ice cream. We get Akimas Darth Vader mask if you bought the ice cream. Here's a fun story. The Jedi soda from 1984. There was 3 versions of them. Probably tasted, well, very bad. Lots of sugar and coloring stuff in it. And the reason why this came out was the CEO of the company. His children loved Star Wars, and they wanted to have a Star Wars soda. So they demanded a Star Wars soda, and what does the CEO do? He spoils his kids and makes the Star Wars soda. So the reason why we have it is only because his children wanted it. And pretty scary stuff when the CEO is listening to his kids. We didn't have Topps collector's card in Sweden. We had our own big company called Nelba, and they made their own unique both packaging and images. Are quite many card collectors trying to find these. They're not that hard to combine. They made so many, but in mint in package, they're really hard to find. Look at that kid! Wow, it's really exciting. So here's the read longbooks from Sweden. So I have some jigsaw puzzles. Darth Vader reflex. Do you say reflex in the US? Do you know what that is? Yeah. No, Bill Cable should. So you can see in the dark when you put a light on it. You put it on the coat. Reflector. Yeah, sweet. And of course, we have Pernilla August that played Shmi Skywalker. Probably the baddest performance in the whole Star Wars movies, but still, she's from Sweden. Have to show her. That's good. So that was actually the last item of Sweden. And this is the last country, Iceland. And Iceland is like really small, way up in the north. They're really up in the north. They could have, almost could have ice bears walking on the streets because it's that cold. And the population is only like 200, at least back in the day, in the 80s. It was 200,000 in all of Iceland, and like 90% of them is in Reykjavik, which is the capital. But there are a few Icelandic items. So when you're looking for items from small countries, you sell with anything they came up with. So this is like a book a storybook that no one really cares about. If it was from another country, it looks almost the same in many countries, but this is quite unique. The funny thing about Iceland is they care so much about their language. They don't take in, like all over the world, we use the words for me like cool and all the time. But Iceland, they always translate foreign words into Icelandic, make up new words. And so Luke in Icelandic was Logi Jimgenelli, like flame spacewalker. And Hans Solo was Hans Ola. And Leis Lilja, that way is Svat. It was, so it's really unique. I think Iceland has the most unique language in the world, and Denmark has the worst language in the world because they only import US words into their language all the time. So that's probably in 50 years to speak English over there all the time. There's a pop-up book from '77 as well. So you guys can, I haven't been able to find these. These are from the archive. You can look it up and read about it. I think the website address is in the program. But imagine like 200,000 people lived there. A print run for these books, they can't be big. Maybe like a couple of hundreds, and that they should survive until today. So if you find one, if you're in Iceland, buy it, put it on eBay. Oh no, call me. Try to contact me, by the way. We'll see you there, yeah. This one was one item I haven't seen before. It was the Star Wars, like the book, what Star Wars released already in '78. And of course, it's from Steve Sanskrit's collection, and probably the only known. Hopefully there are more of them out there. And they made these awesome handbills that were given out to the press and patrons during the premieres of the film in Reykjavik. Just like blue and white, it has Star Wars in Icelandic, and they promote that it has Icelandic subtitle. And they made one for each movie, as for Empire Strikes Back. And this is quite, as you see, it's Stjärnus Read 1 and 2 and 3. So they all got the episodes wrong. So, but that was how it was in Iceland. So, like these 5 items, those are the only Star Wars items known to have come from Iceland. And there's a few of us trying to track down more, but it's so rare and so difficult. But it looks beautiful with their language on it. And this handle is from StarWarsMoviePosters.com that got like this incredible movie posters from all around the world. If you want to check out movie posters from Thailand, from Japan, from Scandinavia, visit their website. It's awesome. It has every info you need to know about movie posters. And I think that was about it. There was like, in this 35 minutes, you've seen almost all Star Wars collectibles from Scandinavia. Almost all panels you have to like pick out, be cherry picking. But since we have so few items, many of them are rare, we can fill one panel and show you almost everything. So before we finish, I want to ask if anybody has got any questions. They won't open the doors until we're finished, so you don't need to get in line to get out yet. So, does anyone got any questions they want to ask? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Bill. The question was if I went to Iceland to look for stuff. No, I haven't yet. I love to visit the country. It's quite far up in north, and the nature is amazing. So one day I will do that. I'm trying to track down some old school friends that came from Iceland, and so one day it's quite close, so I have to go there. Yes.
Did they actually release that fairly old, all the old lines?
No, unfortunately, no. That would have been awesome. The question was if they released the Imperial Shuttle in the box with the Pope the Force logo. But no, that only made it to the prototype stage here in the US. It was stickered up right on top of it, and that's about it. So it didn't make it to any place in the world. If it should have made it anywhere, it would be in Scandinavia. That would be awesome. Anyone else? Yes?
Yeah, I'm actually happy to be going to Finland in a couple of years. Would it make sense to like go around asking for people if they have Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, okay, the question, this guy is going to Finland in a couple of years or in some time. They asked if he was going to try to find some stuff and ask around if they got anything. And definitely, I think you should go into bookstores, flea markets. It's like, you won't be like a millionaire if you find stuff, but there's a collectible market for it that would pay a decent amount of money, but especially we would be so happy to just see it. So definitely try to find some good stuff. Yes?
Was there anything that was released in the US that you guys didn't get?
Yeah. The question was if there was anything that was released in the US that we didn't get. And there was tons of stuff that we didn't get, especially from the first years, from 78 to 82, like the Sandcrawler, Sonic Landspeeder, Vinyl Cape Java, etc. So the early stuff we didn't get at all. Maybe a few items made it, but that was just like coincidence. If like maybe UK found that early stock that they had and then sold to Playmix and sold. But so most of the early US stuff weren't available.
What about the opposite?
One more time, sorry.
What about the opposite? Was there anything that you got that we didn't?
If there was any items that we got in Sweden that you guys didn't get here, well, toy-wise it wasn't. So it only like items I've shown here, like the displays, they were unique to Sweden. Posters unique for the different countries, but especially the displays, and especially the Power of the Force ones, since you guys hadn't much interest in the toy line in '85, so that's much about it. One last question before all will go for the tops. Yes?
This is not confirmed, but I was down with the Vincent Box guys. They started jumping up and down because they now celebrate in Europe and Deutschland and Germany for July 2013.
Well, I heard that rumor as well. The question was if Celebration Europe that was held in London, like, or was it 4 years ago? 5? There's a rumor saying that Celebration Europe will be in Germany. In which year was it?
Next year.
Next year. And yeah, it would be awesome. We'll see you guys there. Well, so what? So okay, Bill Cable just got a text. So there will be a Celebration Europe in Germany next year. From the big panel somewhere in another room. That is awesome, man. That's great news. I wonder if their like JediCon is going to be Celebration Europe, because that's happening as well. So, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your talk.